Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. I'm Chalapansa Narula. It's Wednesday, December 2nd, 2015. Let's take a look at today's top news. And in today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward, Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha confirmed Thailand's commitment towards addressing climate change at the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in Paris. The Prime Minister participated in high-level meetings with heads of states at COP21, or the 21st session of the Conference of the Parties. During his speech, Prayut expressed his condolences over the attacks in Paris on November 13th and offered moral support to France. The Prime Minister stated that Thailand's participation in the conference aims to demonstrate the country's commitment to support negotiations on climate change in a bid to meet the goals of the United Nations. Thailand will aim to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 20 to 25% by 2030 through adhering to sustainable development practices and the philosophy of sufficiency economy. He added that Thailand is aware of the threatening impacts of climate change, such as drought, depleted natural resources, and lack of food security. Thailand will move forward in accordance with its Power Development Plan 2015, tackling such issues as forest encroachment and water management. General Prayut has returned to Thailand, arriving at Suvarnabhumi International Airport at 6:25 a.m. today. In September 2015, Thailand was appointed as the G77 chairman for 2016, putting the nation in the position of leadership for the 134 members bloc. To find out more about future challenges the kingdom will be facing, we turn to Khun Na'ak Rojanasuwan, who has a story.
The Group of 77 was established on June 15, 1964, by 77 developing countries. Although the number of G77 members has increased to 134 recently, the original name was retained due to its historical significance. His Excellency Weerachai Plasai, Ambassador and Permanent Representative of Thailand to the United Nations, said the development of the G77 is now the national agenda. Thailand will seek to reinforce unity among group members through the kingdom's characteristic hospitality. Ambassador Weerachai highlighted 17 articles of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, including eradicating poverty, improving the quality of education, and promoting gender equality.
We will have a very exciting year, the first year to implement the Sustainable Development Goals that our leaders just adopted. We will have to implement, follow up, and review the goal in the coming 15 years. And 2016 will be the first year. So, as in every undertaking, the first step is very important.
His Excellency Kingsley Mamabolo, Ambassador and Permanent Representative of the Republic of South Africa and G77 chair for this year, praised Thailand for taking up the position and stressed the importance of the G77's presence in the United Nations.
To the people of Thailand, that this has been a wise decision. You have placed yourself in a position of leadership in which you will be leading the developing world on issues of bread and butter for the poor, the marginalized. We have just developed a program at the United Nations, a global program, which talks about eradicating poverty, which talks about not leaving anybody behind.
Meanwhile, Chitinthorn Kongsak, Director General of the Department of International Economic Affairs, revealed the government's plan to support the economic development of G77.
So our role for next year is to help shape the implementation, Now we've set the goals, but now we have to decide how do we get there, right? And there are a few aspects. One is the financing because everything costs money.
Thailand has an enormous task as the nation will officially lead 133 developing nations next year. It will require efforts from all citizens in order to propel Thailand and other countries forward.
Illegal fishing is a vital national issue, which the Royal Thai government has been working hard to solve immediately. The government has set up the Command Center for Combating Illegal Fishing, or CCCIF, which is under the direct control of the Prime Minister of Thailand in a bid to solve illegal fishing problems. Kun Niranut Raijakwanit has more.
Deputy Chief of Staff of the Royal Thai Navy, Vice Admiral Jumpon Lumpikanon, said that since the establishment of the Command Center for Combating Illegal Fishing, or CCCIF, in May 2015, officials at the center have tirelessly worked and been able to accomplish their task of tackling illegal fishing in many areas. For the first 6 months, the main efforts are to reform fishery-related laws in accordance with the international standard in order to ensure the sustainable use of fishery resources. The Admiral added that apart from enacting the laws, a number of interim management measures have been strictly enforced by Thailand Maritime Enforcement Coordination Center through the 28 port-in, port-out controlling center along the coastline, while 3 anti-illegal fishery task forces carry out inspection at sea.
We have the solution to do for solve this yellow card in 4 points. The first point is the law. The second is the action plan for anti-trafficking and anti-IUU fishing, and or combating IUU fishing, and the last one is the marine fishery management plan. We do all of this in 6 months. Now we set the law and national plans and management plan already.
One of the key measures is for the officials involved to give all stakeholders and fishermen necessary consultations for the best solution and to minimize the effect of their livelihood. However, the government has provided financial support and incentive options to those who have been affected by the measures. The center is now concentrating on implementation of fishery management plan. Integrated efforts by officials involved and stakeholders are needed in order to push the plan forward. With such efforts, the IUU problems are expected to be solved in a sustainable manner, while Thai fishery resources will be protected for the next generation. I'm Niranut Raijakwanit reporting.
In related story, the government's public relations department is joining hands with the Royal Thai Navy to publicize the government's efforts against illegal fishing. The move aims to demonstrate the government's commitment to solving the issue. PRD Director General Kun Aphinan Chantarangsi met with the Royal Thai Navy's Deputy Chief of Staff, Vice Admiral Jumpon Lumpikanon, to discuss ways to spread information on the government's work towards solving illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, or IUU. The two sides have agreed to cooperate on disseminating the information from the Royal Thai Navy. The PRD will use its mass media channels to spread information in both Thai and English. The move aims to keep the public updated on the works of the government towards solving IUU problems, including previous projects and future plans. Creating awareness about the government's efforts will allow locals and the international community to understand the government's commitment and determination to crack down on illegal fishing. The government is working in accordance with the European Union's framework in order to have the EU's yellow card on Thailand revoked. Radio Thailand, under the Public Relations Department, has hosted the 4th Joint Technical Committee meeting, or JTC, with China Radio International, or CI, on the cooperation in radio broadcasting at the Radio Thailand headquarters on December 1st. The meeting was co-chaired by Kun Jarun Chayasorn, Deputy Director General of the Public Relations Department, and An Chiao Yu, the Director General of Southeast Asia Broadcasting Center and China Radio International.
Radio Thailand and CRI have been cooperating for years exchanging information, radio programs, and stuff. This year, we are going to compose a song to promote friendship of ASEAN countries. We are planning to invite well-known pop star Thanon The Voice to join the project.
The meeting included talks about activities which have been carried out for 1 full year, such as the exchange of personnel, production teams, and radio programs, as well as other related issues.
This meeting marks a distinctively successful cooperation. We agree that the PRD and the CRI are going to go further in sorts of activities in the future. Moreover, the two parties will also advance with more cooperation in every possible way.
In addition, the Thai PRD delegation welcomed the Chinese visitors to notable attractions around Bangkok after the meeting. The Department of Employment under the Ministry of Labour organized a press conference on a campaign to stop human trafficking in the forms of illegal and underage modelling in Thailand. According to the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Labour, Mom Luang Puntarik Samiti, there are a large number of foreign models from such countries as Brazil, Ukraine and Russia working without a work permit in Thailand as the country's modelling industry grows at a rapid rate. The Permanent Secretary said that a portion of these models are underage workers. Mom Luang Puntarik said the issues has long plagued the local modelling industry, damaging the kingdom's image and diminishing national income. She said the Ministry of Labour and related units are committed to enforcing law and step-up measures against human trafficking, prostitution, labour exploitation, unfair employment and vagrancy. Founder of Thai Modelling Industry and Agencies Association, Edward Kitty, echoed the Permanent Secretary's comments while assuring the public that the association has put in place policies against human trafficking in local modelling industry.
Okay, we're going to promote modeling in Thailand to be regulated and legalized. We want foreign models to come into work with a working permit and pay income tax, just like all the other professions.
Zoe Phillips, a model from Elite Model Management, encouraged her fellow models who are interested in working in Thailand to do so legally.
If you want to work in Thailand legally, you have to work in Thailand legally because it's the only way to be safe and know that you're doing like the right jobs and make sure that you don't get into trouble and get where you want to go with your career.
Moving on to our next story, the Cabinet has approved the draft of the National E-Payment Act and revisions to sequestration legislation. Government spokesperson Major General Sansern Kaew said the Cabinet meeting nodded to the National E-Payment Draft Act in preparation for the development of e-payment systems. The Cabinet also agreed with revisions to the sequestration law. The revised sequestration law stipulates that the money or assets transferred by a bankrupt company is not sequestered since the transaction has been completed. The draft of the revised sequestration law will be submitted to the Council of State for consideration and then to the Cabinet again. After that, it will be forwarded to the National Legislative Assembly, or NLA. And that's it for Thailand Moves Forward. We'll now have a quick look at the exchange rates and commodity prices. Newsline will be back with ASEAN and beyond. We'll take a look at an interesting project that was held by See ASEAN. Stay with us.
Welcome to ASEAN, a community comprised of 10 countries, each with its unique culture and history, now unifying to bring added prosperity to the region. For centuries, each country remained independent, but now we are coming together to compete in the 21st century globalized world. ASEAN is bringing together more than 600 million citizens and a total land area of 4.4 million square kilometers, and is providing economic opportunities, trade, travel, and new educational possibilities. The combined GDP of all 10 ASEAN countries comes to a total of $2.4 trillion, which means the ASEAN entity ranks amongst the world's major economic powers. The future is here. Welcome to ASEAN, the community of opportunities. The Southeast Asia region is now becoming one.
Welcome back to Newsline. Mrs. Ann L. Shishadri, Cultural and Educational Officer of the U.S. Embassy to Thailand, and Dr. Kandi Leopairod, Managing Director of ASEAN, gave a press conference on why Sealy cooperation with Dr. Surin Pitsuwan, former Secretary General of ASEAN, and he delivered a speech on the importance of education. ASEAN and Future Innovation Thailand Institution opened the Why Sealy Generation project under the theme of ASEAN for the 21st century, funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Why Sealy project was established for new generations from 10 ASEAN member countries who will undergo exchange programs in the region and in the United States. This year's regional conference will be held in Bangkok and Hua Hin on December 12th and 16th of this year.
It will raise awareness. It is an opportunity for young people of ASEAN to come together and to learn from each other what are the problems, what are the challenges in their own societies, respective societies, what to do in our effort to build a community together. And I think we need to create that network of youth, exchange of the younger generation, and learning together, learning from each other, in order to build the future together, because we can't change our geography. We are here and we are living together. We must contribute to the creation of this region. And I think Why Sealy is one such beginning. And it will be a very interesting beginning for us.
The Why Sealy projects are done collaboratively across borders. So we ask the Why Sealy members in Thailand to work with Why Sealy members in Indonesia and Philippines and Singapore and Brunei. And they work together on projects that will help their communities, help their countries, and help their world. So it's just a way to help the ASEAN youth get together and think about the challenges they have, and to partner with the United States as we seek to meet these challenges together.
Dr. Surin pointed out that critical thinking and analytical thinking are significant for youths, while English proficiency remains important as it becomes a working language in the ASEAN region. Moreover, he insisted that education is a significant tool for youngsters to achieve their goals and bridge social gaps. In other global news, NATO reaffirmed its commitment to Turkey after the country shot down a Russian warplane near the Syrian border last week in the first known incident of its kind since the Cold War, and one that has deeply strained ties between Turkey and Russia. Moscow, which denies violating Turkish airspace, has responded to the incident by announcing it will deploy its advanced S-400 missile defense system that can hit missiles and aircraft up to 400 kilometers away. Speaking after a meeting of NATO foreign ministers at the alliance's headquarters in Brussels, Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg called for a calming of tensions. NATO allies plan to send patrol aircraft and missiles to strengthen Ankara's air defense on its border with Syria, officials said on Tuesday. Foreign ministers said in a statement that the situation on Turkey's border with Syria and Iraq was highly unstable and committed to increase Turkey's air defenses which they described as assurance measures. Meanwhile, thousands gathered outside the British Parliament to protest against the possibility of Britain launching airstrikes on Islamic State militants in Syria. Members of Parliament will debate and vote on the issue today. Britain is already carrying out airstrikes against Islamic State in Iraq since September 30th last year, where the group holds a significant amount of territory, including on the country's largest cities, Mosul. British Prime Minister David Cameron said on Tuesday his government had unanimously agreed a motion on airstrikes against militants in Syria, portraying the ruling party as united on an issue that has split the Labour opposition. Cameron wants to launch the airstrikes as soon as possible against IS in Syria, convinced Britain can no longer subcontract its security to other countries after the group said it was behind last month's Paris attacks. Many people gathered outside Parliament to protest against bombing Syria before marching past both Conservative and Labour Party headquarters. Japan has decided to resume whaling in the Antarctic Ocean by the end of March after a hiatus since last year, a move likely to prompt international outrage. The International Court of Justice ruled in March last year that Japan's decades-old whale hunt in the Antarctic should stop, prompting Tokyo to cancel the bulk of its whaling for the 2014-2015 season. The Japanese Fisheries Agency notified the International Whaling Commission, or IWC, that Japan will resume whaling in the 2015-2016 season under a revised plan. The plan, which calls for cutting annual minke whale catches by 2/3 to 333, is scientifically reasonable, the agency said in a document filed with the IWC. Japan began what it calls scientific whaling in 1987, a year after an international whaling moratorium took effect. Britain's Prince Harry visited South Africa's coastal city of Durban and played rugby with a group of young aspiring players. In a bid to highlight how sport can be used as a tool for social development, Prince Harry toured the Shark Tank, the home stadium of the NATO Sharks, accompanied by former Springbok captain and also current president of the Sharks, John Smith. Transformation in the game has come under scrutiny of late, and Prince Harry learned about programs in place in Durban that aim to nurture young talents, especially raw talents from children who might come from disadvantaged backgrounds. Prince Harry took off his shoes and played on the pitch with young aspiring rugby players as spectators cheered from the stand. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. Thank you very much for spending part of your day with us. If you do have any suggestions or comments, please feel free to send them to us, and the email address is newsline.nbt@gmail.com. Today we end the program while showing you a video of two most adorable white tiger cubs who are just learning to walk in China Zoo. I'm Chula Pansanarula. We'll see you tomorrow. Sawasdee ka.